In today's video, we're going to work the steps together in Financial UA, focusing specifically on Step 2, Quest for Power. So if you're interested in working the steps of Financial UA with us, and you'd like to go on a quest for power, I want to encourage you to stay tuned and watch this video, and of course, to please consider clicking the subscribe button below, and also to click the notification bell. That way you will be notified every time Financial UA posts a new video, and you can be one of the first people to see it. So, if you're ready to go on a quest for power in Financial UA, we're going to start the video right now. Hey, welcome! My name is Jay from Baltimore, Maryland, and I want to welcome you to the Financial UA General Service Office. Come on in and grab a seat. Let's get this meeting started. We're going to start working on Step 2 in Financial UA, but keep in mind, you may not be at Step 2 in your personal recovery process. You may be at Step 1, Symptoms. If you'd like to see the video specifically focusing on Step 1, Symptoms, click the link right here. In your recovery process, if you are still working on Step 1, living the step, bringing the step to life, and doing interviews, I want to encourage you to click this link right here. If you're ready to start working on Step 2 in Financial UA, then let's do that together. We're going to focus on Quest for Power. I want to encourage you, first of all, to have a copy of the Financial UA 12-Step Workbook. It is from this workbook that we do our step work in Financial UA. I'd also like to encourage you to have a prosperity notebook, a place where you can take notes about what you're learning through your step work process. Also to have a dedicated prosperity pen. That way you use one pen to keep notes in your notebook, and you always keep that pen with your notebook so you never have to look around for a pen, you never have to worry about something being mislocated or whatever. You'll have all your supplies in one place. I also want to encourage you to consider doing all of your step work in your dedicated recovery space. And again, this is a space in your home where all you focus on is doing your recovery work. And it's also the space where you might have your recovery counsel posted on the wall, your recovery desk, your recovery notebook, your pen, a copy of the 12-step workbook, and maybe this is also the space where you make your phone calls onto the Financial UA conference call line, or perhaps to do your outreach calls where you speak with other members in Financial UA, or even chat with your Financial UA qualified sponsor. So if you have all these items in place and you're ready to go on a quest for power, then let's do that right now. Let's turn to the part of your Financial UA workbook that says Step 2, Quest for Power. The beginning of Step 2 starts with having you answer a couple of questions. The first question is, has my personal earning power been enough to help me achieve prosperity in life? Go ahead and answer that question in your notebook. Has my education level been enough to help me achieve the prosperity that I want? Go ahead and answer that question in your notebook. Has my social status been enough to help me achieve the prosperity that I want? Go ahead and answer that question in your notebook. Has my gender, race, or ethnicity helped me to achieve prosperity? Go ahead and answer that question in your notebook. Has my willpower, creativity, or social skills been enough to help me achieve prosperity? Go ahead and answer that question in your notebook. Have I been prosperous and successful doing things my way? Go ahead and answer that question in your notebook. Am I satisfied with how my life turned out? Go ahead and answer that question in your notebook. Is there another better way to tap into earning power? Go ahead and answer that question in your notebook. In your notebook, answer the question, where can I find other sources of power greater than myself? In your notebook, answer the question, where can I find sources of earning power outside of myself? In your notebook, answer the question, Am I willing to go to any length to connect with an earning power outside of myself? Once you've answered these questions, I want to encourage you to turn over your answers and your responses to your sponsor. You may also share about your responses and turn them over in any Financial UA meeting or Financial UA workshop. You also might consider calling a couple of people on your outreach list, a couple of other members in Financial UA, and have a brief discussion about your responses to these questions. The reason why you have phone numbers to be able to do outreach is so that you can share about your step work and share about the things you're learning, the realizations you're having, and some of the questions that you're answering, especially if you happen to be in a position where you might not be working closely one-on-one with a committed Financial UA qualified sponsor. In the meantime, even though you're working with me as your temporary sponsor just for today, you can utilize other members of the fellowship to turn small items over to them, to share about things you're learning, and to share about your realizations, aha moments, and perhaps any spiritual experiences you're having while you're doing this step work. And of course, you can share about any of these things in a Financial UA meeting or workshop. The next assignment for Step 2 is going to be extra credit. Now I'm going to present some ideas to you, some gentle suggestions, but I would like for you to consider these in a way that of course always respects your personal boundaries and your personal sensitivities. One of the ways that really helped me to get a better understanding of the idea about how to go on a quest for power, that I'm essentially looking for a source of power greater than myself that can, number one, help restore me to sanity, and number two, help restore me to prosperity. As I go through that process, I'm going on a journey, I'm going on a quest to try to find this source of power, or perhaps there are multiple sources of power, and I'm trying to find what those sources are so that I can begin to build a relationship with each and every one of those sources. And as I build a relationship with them, it creates a pipeline where I can start to draw power from those sources to fill myself with that power and to empower myself to achieve greater levels of accomplishment and earning. So there are a couple of movies that I would like to propose to you that really help to illustrate what this journey of going on a quest for power looks like. Now, I do not endorse, nor do I oppose any of these movies. I simply present them to you as resources that help to visually illustrate this idea about going on a quest for power. I would encourage you to watch a movie called Star Wars, the original first movie in the series. And in this movie, there's a young person named Luke, and he struggles with trying to connect with a power greater than himself. And he goes on a journey, a quest for power. And the source of power that he connects with is called the Force. So I'd like to encourage you to consider watching this movie and to watch it from the perspective of looking at the hero going on a journey to try to connect with a source of power greater than him or herself. And to notice that as they go on the journey, they often realize they cannot achieve their goal by themselves. They need to surround themselves with a group of friends and supportive trusted servants who help them to achieve this powerful goal of theirs. I would encourage you to process what you have learned with your sponsor, with other members in recovery, so that you can keep the lesson in perspective, taking what you like and leaving the parts that maybe don't serve you. Because not every movie is 100% a good fit for every person. So again, you can take what you like and leave the rest. Now it's time for our seventh tradition. Every Financial UA meeting ought to be fully self-supporting, declining outside contributions. There are no dues or fees for Financial UA membership. All of our meetings are completely free to attend, both over the phone and face-to-face. Please keep in mind that we do have expenses, such as covering the cost of our website, developing new literature, and maintaining our service office. If you would like to make a 7th Tradition donation, you can click the PayPal link below or visit our website at financialua.org and click the Donate button. You can also support this program by purchasing a copy of our Financial UA 12-Step Workbook or our Financial UA Traditions Workbook. Also, you can help us carry the message by subscribing to our channel and even by sharing this video with your sponsor or sponsee. Lastly, please consider clicking that like button and give us a big thumbs up for service. The next part of the assignment for Step 2, Quest for Power, is a series of questions that are going to use your imagination. First, I'd like you to imagine what would your life look like if you could connect with a source of earning power that was able to increase your earning and income by 10 times. So imagine earning 10 times what you're earning right now. What would your life look like? How would you dress? Where would you live? What kind of car would you drive? What kind of restaurants would you eat at, or what kind of meals would you prepare at home? What kind of friends would you have? What kind of social life would you have? How would you feel emotionally? How would you take care of yourself physically? So go ahead and really try to visualize as best as you can, how would your life look if you were living at a level where you were channeling 10 times the amount of earning power. The next question is, I would like for you to visualize what would your life look like if you were to be able to channel enough earning power to accelerate your earning to 100 times the amount of earning and income than you currently make right now. If you were earning 100 times the income, what would your life look like on a day-to-day basis? How would you dress? What kind of car would you drive? What kind of restaurants would you eat at, or how would you prepare your food at home? What kind of home would you live in? What kind of friends would you have? What kind of social life would you have? How would you dress? How would you take care of yourself physically? How would you feel on the inside? How much of that money would you save? How much of that money would you spend? Really try to visualize as best as you can what your life could look like if you were earning 100 times the amount than you currently earn, and what kind of earning power might you need to tap into to channel 100 times the amount of earning. Imagine if you had 1,000 times the amount of earning power than you currently have. What would it look like to channel 1,000 times the amount of earning power? What source would you need to plug into to channel that much earning power? And what would your life start to look like? How would you dress? What type of home would you live in? What type of car would you drive? What kind of friends would you have? And what kind of social life would you have? What would your day-to-day activity look like if you were channeling actively 1,000 times the amount of earning power? Now the question is, what would it take to help you achieve prosperity? Would you need to channel 10 times the amount of earning power? Would that help you be prosperous? Would you need to channel 100 times the amount of earning power? Would that be enough to help you achieve prosperity? Or would you need to channel 1,000 times the amount of earning power? Would that be enough to help you achieve prosperity? Go ahead and answer these questions in your notebook. What would it take for you to experience prosperity? How much earning power would you need to channel in order to help you achieve prosperity? I'd like for you to brainstorm, what are the sources of earning power out there in the world, both physically, financially, or spiritually? What are those sources of earning power that can channel 10 times the amount of earning power? 100 times the amount of power, 1,000 times the amount of power. As they say, if you want to buy a loaf of bread, it's crazy to go to a hardware store because hardware stores don't sell bread. If you want bread, you need to go to a grocery store. If you want a hammer, you need to go to a hardware store. So, if you're looking for sources of power that have that much earning power to share, where do you need to go to find those sources of power? And what do you need to do to start building the bridges and the pipelines to those sources of power so you can draw that much power into yourself to fill yourself full of earning power at that level, and then to go out into the world to create that much earning and income. Next, I'd like you to go onto the financialua.org website, look underneath the link of the Tools of Prosperity, and find the page focusing on vision boards, because I'd like to encourage you to make a vision board of your own. When I made my very first vision board, I was on step 2, and my sponsor encouraged me to take $20 to buy myself a piece of poster board, a pair of scissors, some glue, and 3 magazines with glossy photographs. I believe at the time I picked Architectural Digest, Cosmo magazine, and Money magazine. Not that I endorse any of those magazines, I'm just sharing my experience. Those were the ones that I chose. Those magazines had really high quality glossy photos, and they represented the idea of what prosperity looked like to me. When I looked at those images, I said, wow, that's what prosperity looks like. I want to encourage you to set a reasonable budget for yourself. It does not have to be expensive, but pick an amount that allows you to stay within your spending plan and your solvency, and to take that amount to purchase the supplies for building your vision board. I'd like for you to consider that your vision board is an investment into your future. You are investing your time, your money, your attention, and your energy into creating an image, a plan for what you would like your future to look like, and to create this in such a way as it has value, it has meaning, and it represents that you have made some degree of financial investment into creating a future for yourself. Once you've had a chance to look at the website, to read the instructions on how to create a vision board, you'll also notice that on that web page there are at least 20 different photographs of vision boards that many of our Financial UA members have sent in. And if you're interested, once you finish your vision board, you may also take a photograph and send it in, and we will post it on the website as a way to positively validate your personal vision. Try to keep the images clean and non-offensive, because we are presenting them and sharing them in a public space on our website. But most of all, make sure that the images represent prosperity for you. They represent freedom, recovery, and prosperity. And if you wish, you may keep your vision board just to yourself. That's perfectly fine. You could take your vision board when it's finished and mount it on the wall next to your dedicated recovery space. We've had many members who have had their imaginary spiritual council posted on one side and their vision board posted on the other side. There's no wrong way to create a vision board. Really, just create what springs up from inside of you. Allow your heart and your soul to help you to select the images of your vision board. As we move towards closure on this portion of Step 2, Quest for Power, I'd like for you to answer the following questions in your Prosperity Notebook. Am I willing to try something new or different? Answer that in your notebook. Am I willing to let someone else teach me or guide me? Go ahead and answer that in your notebook. Am I willing to set aside any resistance or rebellion? Go ahead and answer that in your notebook. Am I willing to take baby steps through fear if success and prosperity were waiting for me on the other side? Go ahead and answer that in your notebook. Once you have all these questions answered, take your responses to a financial UA meeting or workshop, and I'd like to encourage you to use your 3-minute share to talk about how you responded to each of these questions. You may also, during your share, talk about what your experience was with this portion of Step 2, what it was like for you to go on a quest for power, and if you happen to have watched optional movies, what were the lessons that you learned from those movies? How did those movies help to illustrate what it looks like to go on a quest for power? You can share about all these things with your qualified financial UA sponsor or temporary sponsor, or you may share about those in any meeting or workshop of financial UA. Lastly, I want to encourage you to consider, how are you going to reward yourself for having taken all these positive actions? You've clearly taken a lot of actions, from writing assignments to perhaps watching 1 or 2 movies, to doing some visualization and imagination exercises, to creating a vision board. How are you going to reward yourself for having taken all of these steps to help you go on this journey of having spiritual experiences, of achieving deeper spiritual clarity around what prosperity looks like for you, and how might you connect with sources of earning power greater than yourself that can help you to channel this prosperity energy? Now's the time for sharing. Who'd like to take a share? In the comments section below, please share about your experience, strength, and hope with going on a quest for power. What does that mean to you? What did it look like? While you were on your quest for power, did you have any breakthroughs, any financial breakthroughs or windfalls, any moments of clarity? Or perhaps you might have had a couple of spiritual experiences in the process. Please feel free to share about those in the comments section below. You may also share any questions you have about the recovery process. You may also propose other topics around which we can create a financial UA video. I want to encourage you to please keep your shares and your comments positive and non-offensive. If you haven't done so already, I want to encourage you to click the subscribe button below. That way you'll be subscribed to the Financial UA channel, and if you click the notification bell, you'll be notified by YouTube every time Financial UA posts a new video, and you can be one of the first people to see it. And of course, if you enjoyed this video and found it to be of value to you, please give us a big thumbs up for service. This lets us know that you like focusing on step work, and we can create more videos to help you work your step work process. As we move towards closure, please visit us at www.financialua.org or email us at financialua@gmail.com. Now let's close with our prosperity prayer. God, grant us a serenity to accept the things we cannot change, the courage to change the things we can, the wisdom to know the difference, and the prosperity to afford it. Awesome. Hey, thanks so much for joining us and helping to hold this space for healing and recovery. Please help us carry the message by subscribing to our channel and sharing this video with others. And most important, keep coming back. Have a great day, everybody.
God grant us the serenity to accept the things we cannot change, courage to change the things we can, wisdom to know the difference, and the prosperity